くぞジェノサイカッタ
What's up, everybody? This is Forgo, and today we're going to talk about some of the things that I missed from yesterday's video and some of the other things that I've noticed from the update. And man, I really do love this clean look. This looks freaking fantastic. I know it's a small thing, but I love it. I think it's fantastic. So the first thing that was mentioned in the comments was that in the Power Up Dungeon, we have added Lunatic and Inferno mode. So in the Gold Dungeon, the Experience Dungeon, and the Core Dungeon, now we have Lunatic and Inferno. Now, Gold and Core, we didn't have Lunatic, but in the Experience Dungeon, we already had Lunatic, and they added Inferno. So this is pretty awesome. So if you got a really powerful Gold team, a really set up Gold team, and you go in Inferno here, and by the way, you can play this as many times as you want. So this is my Gold team. I got cards, got the link effects going on here. But look at how much gold I get just from one of these things. There we go. Now check this out. 440,000. Wow. 440,000 from one round. I mean, you could use 10 skip tickets and get 5 million gold just about. That's crazy. That is crazy. And they also did the same thing. They added the Inferno for the experience bottles here, and they added Lunatic and Inferno for the core dungeon. So now we're going to be able to get more cores. We're going to be able to get more gold. Yes, it does cost more AP, but that is to be expected since you're going to be getting more items. But I think this is fantastic. I love it. Being able to farm more resources will actually save you time. And if you're a veteran player and you've been playing this game for a while, your character is going to be strong enough. You're going to be able to put it on auto and play this without using your skip tickets, which is fantastic. It's a way of rewarding the older players, but still the new players have something to strive for, and I really love it. The next thing I want to touch on is Infinite Battle. So we go to battle here. I'm still trying to get used to the new UI, but I am loving it. So in Infinite Battle, they actually removed we only have one Infinite Battle. But what they've done is they've gave us more rubies for doing better. So what this essentially has done is they're giving us more rubies for our placements now, for our rankings, and we also don't have to do the other Infinite Battle, which means that we're spending less time farming. We're spending less time playing, which is actually a good thing. This is a complaint that a lot of us had, including myself, and it's nice that they are lowering the amount of time. So with the extra Lunatic and Inferno and the core dungeons and the gold dungeons and the experience battle dungeons, and now cutting this in half, the Infinite Battle in half, that saves us some time. So I'm actually loving it. They're giving us more rubies, so I'm perfectly happy with it. I think it's fantastic. I'm loving it. And also, well, I don't know why I clicked all the way out there, but also in Championship, now our times are back to what they were. So now we have these 2-hour intervals where we can actually play Championship. They had it set up to where we could play for 11 hours straight, just 11 hours right in a row. But now it's back to 2 hours. I actually preferred it to be 11 hours. However, when they did that, it screwed up the timeline. It screwed up Time Attack for a lot of us. We weren't able to play because the time frames of Time Attack would be available, and now Time Attack back to what it was originally, which is actually really good for everybody because that's a game where we get rubies, whereas Championship, you don't get anything. All you get is these little guild coins, which are kind of whatever, right? They're not really a big deal, but it does kind of suck because a lot of us really like that 11-hour window where you can just jump in here and play whenever you want. So it's kind of, you take the good with the bad. They do it 3 times a day, 2 hours each time, so you got 6 hours of gameplay in a day. So it really depends on how you look at it, whether or not you like this change. Personally, I liked it better the other way, but I'm happy to see that the people that are playing Timeline Battle, or Time Attack, I'm sorry, can actually play this now throughout the day. And it's going to allow them to get their rubies, which is fantastic. That's really nice. So I'm actually glad. I assume that they had to change the Time Attack times with the Championship times. I think they're just kind of integrated together for whatever reason in the coding of the game, and they just had to do it this way. The only way they could bring time attack back to the way it was before, as far as when it would be available, is if they put championship back to the way it was before. So it is what it is, but I'm okay with it. The next thing I want to touch on is the Spider Robot. Now this is pretty cool, and it's not a real massive deal, but in the Spider Robot, so here's time attack, by the way. In against the Spider Robot, now, if this thing ever loads up, now we actually have an auto clear button. Thank you so much. I hate this damn game mode, but now you only got to play it once a day, and then you can just auto clear the second 2 times, which is great. Really nice quality of life change that saves us time in playing, saves us time in farming, and allows us to do whatever else we're doing, whether we want to play other game modes in the game, play another game, or do whatever we're doing. So I actually really like this. This is fantastic. Thank you so much, Netmarble, for this one. Very nice, very nice. And last but not least is we have new fest sets in the game. Now, I didn't notice this in the last video. Shout out to all of you for letting me know about this. But when you combine your cards, you can actually queue up. See, what I didn't notice was you got option, set, and then you got your special cards. And I just had it on option. I just scrolled down here, and I was just looking at all these right here, right? You know, you got the new option card here, the darkness option card, this amazing Christmas card, right? And the Zhang Fei card. 3 big ones, then you got super armor card right here. But if you click on set here and you scroll down, check this out. So you got the gold game cards here, you got the new set that they offered just now, and we have 3 new fest sets. 3 new fest sets. So let's take a look at these things. And this is the only place you can get these sets. They are not in the summons. This is the only place you can get them from combining. So that's actually kind of cool. So it's really, for all of us, it's just going to be all about luck as far as getting these. You can't just wail out and buy these things as far as I know. Now the first set says Shermie said Raging Fatal Attack and type. Beautiful artwork, of course. It's got Shermie. I mean, look at her face, man. It looks gorgeous, actually. But all these cards, you got increased attack on the first card, increased critical rate by 3.5%, and increased critical damage by 12%. This is an advanced version of the Mad Tea Party set. It's a fest set. It's going to have more CP. It's going to do more damage than the Mad Tea Party set, for sure. And then it has increased attack and defenses by 7%, increased critical rate by 2%. So you get the critical rate by 2% here, and you got 3.5. So that's 5.5% critical rate. And then you get, and it also has the critical damage by 12%, and you get another 10% critical damage. So that's 22% critical damage for 5 seconds upon attack a shocked, chilled, or poisoned enemy. So it's going to be good to have this set on characters that have shock, chill, or poison. It's an okay set. It's a decent set, like I said, and it's an advanced version of the Mad Tea Party set. But in all honesty, I think honestly the Lee is just going to be better. And really, guys, that's really going to be the thing. Lee is probably, it's just such a broken damn set that, you know, if I'm going to tell you the best set to go with more often than not in PvP, it's probably going to be the Leah set. More than likely. Not always, but pretty much more than often. This is a decent set. It's a better version of the Mad Tea Party set. It definitely could come in handy, maybe against a certain immortal dungeons that are weak to shock, weak to chill, weak to poison. Maybe in that situation, it could come in pretty handy. But the artwork is absolutely beautiful on these cards. Gorgeous. And it has to be expected, honestly, from Netmarble. Then we have this Yashiro set, which is the Impenetrable Defense. And this is a pretty freaking crazy set. All of these cards offer extra defense. So that's 21% extra defense. And then it increases attack equal to 45% of defense. So obviously this is going to be great for characters that bump up their defense, like John Cena. Also characters that are defensive characters. This is going to be insane. Especially characters that get damage based off attack from defense. This is going to be a nutty set. But this is where it gets really nutty. PvP exclusive. Ignores target super armor upon landing a grab skill, guard included. Now some people kept saying this includes hyper armor. There's no hyper armor text here. It's just super armor. But this is exactly what the WWE characters do when they get below, I believe, 40% HP, if I remember correctly. They can ignore super armor. So like you'd have your super armor and they still grab you and do whatever they're going to do. Well, with this card set, I mean, it's on a 25-second cooldown, so you'll be able to do this twice in a championship match. You can literally grab them when their super armor is up and go into your skills. And honestly, guys, even like Kyo, even though he's a balanced type fighter, this set wouldn't be that bad on him. He will get extra damage because he is getting his defenses bumped up and it's attack based off defense, but he also has a grab skill. But I mean, Vice comes to mind. She would be freaking nutty with this set because she actually has a reset in her skills. She actually removes skills in her skills. This would be a damn good set for her. Just think about it. She does her third skill, the interrupt skill, and they do a super armor skill. You do a clash, and she could just grab them and go into her skills. This would be freaking nutty on a character like that. So it's a niche set, and it's definitely, you want to only use it on the characters with grabs. But honestly, I think it's the best set of them all. That's a pretty OP effect right there. But they could bait you. You could miss it, but still, pretty wild set. And then we have this Chris set, which is balance of everything. And this is obviously for only balanced fighters. And you get extra increased attack for each one. So that's 21% extra attack. And then you get 7% here. So that's 28% attack. So not as much as the Leah, which offers 34% attack. So something to keep in mind. Which is, I keep bringing up the Leah because that's the set that all the new sets are going to get compared to. It's just so OP. That's the set we're always going to compare to. But the increased balance type fighter damage by 7% and decreases their damage received by 10%. Now I'm going to bring up Kyo again because I really think this would be a decent set for Kyo. You got 21% extra, 28% extra attack, and Kyo has this 30% decreased damage received from his core effect that they just recently changed. And this 10% is going to add on that. It's going to give us a decreased damage received by 40% in total. We're going to make him a lot more of a tank and make him a lot deadlier. And obviously, you could even put this on someone like Elizabeth, Silent Knight Elizabeth, who has crazy decreased damage received, who has crazy heals, who's already a tank. And you can make her even more of a tank with this thing. Now, I don't know if this decreased damage received by 10% is really better than the Ryugo set, to be perfectly honest, but the fact that you get this combination of attack and the decreased damage received is really, really nice for certain balanced characters for sure. It's a decent set. All of these sets are fest sets, so no matter what set you get, they're still going to be good. I mean, you're still going to be able to use this Shermie set for PvE content. It's still going to do some really great damage. The Yashiro set, definitely going to be great with grab characters. And the Chris set is going to be really, I mean, even like, say you're having a character that's having trouble surviving in an immortal dungeon. This Chris set would actually be good because you're decreasing damage received by 10%. So it's still a useful set, but not OP. All these sets are pretty decent. I think the Yashiro set's really the best, honestly, for PvP. I think the Shermie set is really the best for PvE in general. But the Leah set is really just going to be the best pretty much again overall. Still, though, these are not bad sets. And speaking of which, let's talk about Kyo for a second because I did miss something about him and I mentioned it a second ago. Kyo here, they actually changed his core effect where they gave him the increased penetration by 400 for 5 seconds upon landing a skill stacks up to 5. That means this goes up to 2,000 penetration. This is really just going to make him do a lot more damage because he's weakening their defenses. You know, if they have, say, 5,000 defense and this, you know, this is going to be going on, that he's going to take away 2,000 of their defense. Then they're going to have 3,000 defense. He's just going to do more damage because of this, which is insane. And then they gave him the decreased damage, deals additional burn damage equal 33% of attack when attacking, but decreases damage received by 30% for 5 seconds upon receiving a critical hit on no cooldown. So every time he gets critical hitted, every time someone does a critical hit against him, he gets this damage received by 30% on no cooldown. So he can always have this up whenever they're doing critical hits. And on top of having the hyper armor, just, I mean, honestly, Kyo's really made a pretty big impression in PvP. To be honest, guys, he's actually been doing really well. I haven't really actually played him. I've been so busy doing everything else. But I've watched some videos. I've got a lot of good feedback from a lot of top players. And they're pretty happy with Kyo. He's pretty damn insane. Terry, however, is he's much better than what he was before for sure. But he didn't make the impression in PvP that Keo has. I don't think Terry's going to be quite as good because unfortunately Terry just kind of, his skills still stand characters up. And because of that, with the interrupt skills, because of awaken skills, they can escape. They can use their interrupt skill whenever Terry stands them up, or they can use their awaken skill to get away. And that really hurts him. But his damage is so much better. And honestly, he's just a lot damn better than what he was before. I don't think he's going to be in the top tier of PvP, but definitely good for sure. Honestly, this was a complete surprise, like I mentioned in the last video, and I'm actually really happy with what they did for Terry because I think he's still going to be very relevant, even in PvE game modes, because of the 3 PG card, because of the extra PG rate they gave him in his third skill. I just still think he's going to be very relevant, and I already got mine 3-star, and I can pretty much, I believe, well, no, I can't. I still need one more memory. I thought I could take him at 4-star, but I'm probably going to end up taking him up and doing some future videos about him, probably in PvE. But we'll see. So those are all the things that I missed or didn't mention from the last video. There was so much to unpack in this update that it wasn't even funny. They put so much. Oh yeah, and in the shop you can buy, they have this winter holiday celebration, and you can queue this up. This is 40 American dollars. You get some experience balls, and you have a choice of Terry and Keo. Honestly, guys, I wouldn't do this. I would not do this. Now, I know it takes a long time, but in the elemental event, let me get out of here. In the elemental event, let me see if I can find it here. I believe it's going to be in dungeon. Yeah, the event dungeon. Here we go. In the elemental event, and this thing's right here, you can actually get memories for certain characters. Now, this does last for like a month, which sucks. But Keo is available in these things. And I know it takes a long time. Unless you're in a hurry, I just wouldn't buy a pack like that. I wouldn't do it. Or for Terry. Now, Terry, I don't think is in here. I can't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I know Keo actually shows up in here once in a while. So I just wouldn't buy that pack. I don't think it's really worth it, to be perfectly honest. And then they have another couple other packs. I wouldn't buy these. Honestly, $80. I mean, I love Jeanette, and I know I haven't talked about her at all. I don't have her, but she looks pretty solid in PvP, to be perfectly honest. But I don't know if she's going to be top tier. Her third skill is kind of slow, and that's kind of hurting her a little bit. But when she gets a hold of them, she can be pretty nutty. You get the 4,600 rubies. You get a memory for her. You get these 2 Element Fest memories. I just think it's a little steep, to be perfectly honest. This here, I mean, you do get her. You do get her card. A lot of us already have her card. And you do have enough. You'll get enough souls to level her up. And then you get an Imprint Stone selection box. It's a bit pricey, guys. Honestly, it's a little too much money. I wouldn't recommend buying any of these things. I would just, as far as summoning for her, and this is probably what I'm going to do. I do have 2,600 rubies, but what I'm probably going to do is just keep racking up my free tokens. We'll go ahead and do a free summons here since we're already here. I'm just going to skip it. Okay, whatever. But I'm probably just going to save my rubies. I want to kind of go about things in a different way in the future. And I don't really want to whale out as much as what I've been. I've really spent a lot of money recently, and that's fine. I'm completely happy doing that. And I'm completely happy supporting the game. But I kind of want to back off a little bit and really just try to use just tickets and things of that nature to try to do summons. I mean, I'll still do ruby summons once in a while, but I'm probably going to hold off a little bit as far as pulling, because right now I'd have to go all the way to the pity, and that's a lot of damn rubies. So I'm probably just going to wait on pulling for Jeanette just because I want to save rubies. I really don't want to whale out anymore for a little while. Willie really went crazy on Thanksgiving. All right, cool. Cool. So I just kind of want to back off a little bit, because I do try to budget myself as far as how much money I spent, and I went way over my budget this last month. So I kind of want to even things out by not really spending too much money this month. So let me know if I missed anything from the update. Let me know what you would like to see next. And let me know what characters you've gotten, what cards you've gotten, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.